Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For today's interaction and interactive session, we have with us Mrs. Rina Sen. And as we have picked up several topics and we are interacting with experts, today she will be deliberating and telling us a little bit about 21st century skills and how to go about developing them within kids in the form of a question answer session. So I'd like to welcome you once again, and I would like to begin with insisting you to tell us a little bit about yourself, ma'am.
Hey, good evening once again, everyone. My name is Rina Sen. I will begin with my academic qualification. I have a master's degree in computer science and I have worked for a brief period as a software professional in India as well as in the US. And then I started teaching in schools and I have taught for about 11 years there. Since I have my work career had been computer science, I'm also interested tremendously in mathematics. So, anything related to mathematics just grabs my attention quickly, because I think that this is my personal opinion that anyone who's interested or whose mind is mathematically oriented is kind of organized or methodical. So whenever you approach anything in life in a methodical way, uh, the interaction or the solution or going about becomes kind of easy if your mind is oriented that way. So apart from my deep interest in mathematics, I have a few hobbies. Like I love reading. When I'm reading, I forget about the rest of the world. I also like to getting involved in cultural activities like singing and recitation, and I do a bit of art and painting also. All these things, why did I mention? Because all my hobbies, these were not what I got a professional trend, but these are all my hobbies, but they have come to big use as a teacher when I was grooming young minds in a school, because children are actually are very intelligent, sharp in nature. They want to test their trainers. So when you can come up with your queries, with their queries, with convincing answers, anything apart from academics, you become a more reliable teacher. You become interesting. So they
Absolutely.
have come to a big help to me.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Moving on, I'd like to set up a little bit of context while I ask this
Uh-huh.
question. So, we've seen a paradigm shift in terms of not only just our surroundings, in terms of the market, in terms of the type of jobs that are being created. Like right now, there are jobs which did not exist maybe 5 years or 10 years or 20 years back. 5 years down the
Sure.
line, there is a possibility that jobs will come to exist which we can't even imagine at this point in time at present.
Quite
So
possible.
these tectonic shifts also require the kids of today, the students of today, to be equipped with certain skills. So, what is the best approach to gradually inculcate and gradually acquire all these skills for kids as well as students?
The best way, in my opinion, what I have seen, the best effort, like if you want to quantize, like optimum way of inculcating, as you said, the 21st century skills in kids, in my opinion, is to expose them, the various activities of life as much as possible, because a kid is a bundle of possibilities. It's a fresh packet of possibilities, and we don't even know what my own kids are capable of going down the the way in future, because they bloom like a flower. They bloom, their possibilities, their capabilities bloom. So if you have to really going to find out what are their capabilities, you will have to expose the kids to the activities. So now, in order to do that, you yourself will have to be well informed about the activities. So be on constant lookout, like what are the activities that are taking place all around me, and what am I, or what are you going to expose your kid, so that they show their tendency, their aptitude. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. They show their aptitude, how nicely, how quickly, they take onto a particular activity, and they keep using their acumen, their intellect. Okay, so and I if we keep doing that, I think that will the fastest way of finding out what the kids are capable of.
And since you talked about tendencies, so I would like to extend a little bit on that in terms of, so a kid, or as a student, as a kid, they are involved in a lot of different things. So they might be good in studies, they might be equally good in sports, they might be equally good in maybe the arts and all. Now, how do, as a parent or as an educator, how does someone actually figure out that this is something that my kid is a natural, he has got a natural knack in,
Natural.
and how does that help in paving maybe a possible career path sometime down the line?
If you are, it is said that when you love your job, you excel in it. Okay, when you are not forced to do something, you are doing something spontaneously, you are going to excel in it, because you put your whole heart and soul into it. Okay, and you innovate. Okay, you by yourself, you find out ways to how to excel in the activity. So what should we do? First thing, like when we are exposing our kids to various activities, we have to observe that which are the activities the kids or the kid is going, over and over back to it. That will give us a pointer that okay, this kid likes this activity. And then at the end of the day, when everything is over, they will come home and they will talk about it. Apart from A, B, C, D, E activities, probably they will talk more about activity C, meaning that activity has made a mark, an impression on the kids mind. So therefore they will would like to elaborate on that, and probably would talk with parents and look for their interview and say, input their input, and uh, they will try to find a more stimulation from their environment. So these are the pointers, like what are the kid is talking about, and going back, trying to emulate, repeating at home. That will tell us that okay, my kid is probably has a natural flair for this activity. So then uh, it is easier then, like we might want to encourage that, okay, go about it, right? Like I'm saying that easy, like some kid will come and draw, keep on drawing stuff. So that will tell us that okay, this kid has a flair for drawing, so then let's encourage that way. You never know, one day he or she might develop into a fantastic designer. Okay, so we have to look for their behavior. What are they going back to repeatedly, and what are they talking about most excited about?
The next question that I have, it's there are two sides to it actually. So one thing is that now that kids, they are, in fact, kids from all times, from all periods of time, they have been sort of given tasks to do. They are involved not only just academics, a lot of other things. Sometimes these things
Yeah.
are formalized, sometimes these things are not. So this obviously this instills competitiveness, a sense of competitiveness within kids. Now, how to stay competitive, and at the same time, as a parent or as an educator, how to make sure that in spite of being competitive, the student at the same time is not stressed out and pressurized, and they are not getting ahead of themselves, they are not letting things get to their head. So how do we manage this?
First of all, I am not a very big believer in competition. Okay, because unless it's skillfully handled, unnecessary competitive attitude sometimes puts off a child. Children are very sensitive because they're still blooming, they're tender, and competition is not exactly a tender environment. Okay, so when going to put a sapling into an environment which is not exactly helping, that might put off the child. So I will not harp too much on the word competition, but yes, I do believe in quality. Okay, so if you are going to do something, do it excellent, in an excellent way. Now, how to do that? Because I think competition will also, in a way, push a child towards the best possibility in a particular activity. So what I would like to do, I have often done it when I was teaching in school, that I go for demonstration of champions. Like suppose a child is very interested in chess playing. Okay, so instead of how do I motivate, like exactly what you rather be to be called a good chess player. I have often talked about, shown the life stories, or asked to read about the champions of chess playing. So that kind of sets a bar, like, okay, the good people of this activity are like this. So if I am going to raise myself to a level that I would like to be elevated to, I will rather be like them. Okay, so I don't know whether it helps in inculcating the competitive spirit. But once again, since I believe in excellence, if I have to push my child towards excellence, I will rather tell them about the champions, the celebrities, people who have already excelled to set the bar.
And as you correctly said, like that will help them set a benchmark or index for themselves as to assessing what
Yeah.
progress has. Moving on, so another, I would like to talk about a couple of skills. Like when we've got different skill sets when we talk about creative. We've got leadership, we've got communication, we've got social skills, we've got technology,
Mm.
we've got media. So from these, I would like to pull out a couple. So one is collaboration, another is technology, because this is something which
Mhm.
I believe is pretty much pertinent to kids. Like often it might so happen that kids aren't really able to express themselves. They don't work well in groups, but they excel when they are flying solo. That is one scenario. But eventually there might be a situation where they need to work as a team. That's one side of it. And of course, technology. So technology definitely has given a lot in terms of helping out educators to impart lessons to kids. But again, there's a blind spot as well. So as a parent or as an educator, how do you also ensure that okay, they are taking or extracting the best, the good parts, the relevant, the necessary parts out of technology and media, and they are not getting sidelined or sidetracked by the questionable or the blind spots which may not be pertinent for them at that point in time.
First of all, once again, I have studied that, as I said, children are very soft, very tender, and they don't like to be put down. So, in a team work, what happens? People are apprehensive, like, what if I am portrayed as a lesser being than someone else in my team?
Right.
That's the crux of matters. So it is an apprehension that what if I measure, as a lesser person. So the problem is, very easy. If I have identified that what is the thing that is going to put off a child, then I will tackle that. So always try to as a parent or as a motivator or as a instructor, we should discuss that there is no problem now, no problem at all in failing or measuring up lesser, because we get good at anything by repeatedly doing it. Okay, by knowing an activity more and more, we eventually get good at it. So don't ever be afraid of number one, failing, number two, doing lesser than somebody else. So it is a psychological thing, and this is a big responsibility of us as parents or motivators or teachers to take away that apprehension that I should not be less than my fellow beings or my team players. Okay, so once that mind block is gone, that so what, A and B may be better, eventually I'll become good also, so they will automatically start joining hands. Okay, there is no fear of failing. So, but this has to be carefully. As a teacher, one has to observe constantly that is a child participating less, then immediately tap that child that what is your problem. If he speaks up, immediate. More than often it is that no, I can't do that, I don't understand, so then immediately smooth that out, that kink, that it's okay, keep doing it and you will get good at it. Okay, so creating that environment that failing is not bad, really failing will one day eventually lead to success. Tackling failure. And the number two thing that you said, that modern technology and media. Here I will like to take the example of my own niece who's 6 years old.
Mhm.
uh, when I started watching her when she was about 4.5, and she was tremendously. It was not an addiction. She is fine when you're talking, and she was an articulate person. But whenever she's eating or something, she has to have her uh, phone with videos playing. And I found that activity kind of a little nagging and disturbing. I, of course, didn't voice out my apprehension, but I observed that. And I thought that here is the case that this child is going to be addicted to phone, and if it's only her eyes or the visual capabilities are getting groomed here, so and her mind is dictated by the video. She is not using her own resources. Okay, these are the thoughts that were coming to me. I was kind of definitely disturbed, but I am going to state this very pleasant surprise that because of that constant watching of video, her parents made sure that she is watching kids programs, okay, and nice ones. Her language has become excellent when she speaks. Her choice of words and expressions, all these things, her speaking has become so good. And then I immediately connected her this capability to her constant watching of those good ones, the good videos. So what is the key thing here? Our parents made sure that she is watching the right kind of programs. So here is a thing that media and technology do not necessarily downplay the development of a child, only if once again monitored carefully by the whoever is caring for her or parents. That uh, we have to select, naturally encourage that watch this, watch that. We know what a kid's mind takes to. So if we do that, these days almost all the programs are good in language, presentation, body language when you are
Everything.
speaking. If you speak in a bland way, that is one thing, and we write if you had the right kind of expression, the body language, or pause, the various stuff of public
True.
speaking, then that development is really phenomenal, and this is what I'm seeing in my niece. So I think it's okay as long as they are monitored properly.
Absolutely. That's a great example, and I believe the audience will be taking inputs from that. Another skill that I would like to point out is the financial skills. Like, given the new education policy, like financial literacy, as well as like money wise skills, money skills, money managing skills, these are gradually making way into the kids curriculum. So, what do you think? Is this a really good idea to talk about money? And if so, which are the areas that kids should be talked about with, like in terms of money?
Talking is always good about anything under the sun. Okay, so if a financial and economic domain has to be talked about, by all means, because money is a big part of our life. And this is this one thing I observe these days, that parents are very very uh, I wouldn't call it encouragement. They are, I think, I'm sorry, people might disagree with me, a bit too generous with worldly possessions. A kid asks and he or she gets.
Yes.
There is no problem as such in getting, but uh, then this becomes the nature that if I want something, I want it and I'll get it, and if I don't, then there's something wrong. Now this is where something goes wrong. I might want anything in this world, but I may not get it always. There are various aspects of achieving something. Getting something is also achieving. There are various aspects. First thing is, do I deserve it? Secondly, do I no? Actually, first thing is, do I need it? Something I'm not wanting it. Do I need it? And then, do I deserve it? Why am I getting it? That, when we are discussing, do I deserve it, then what are we bringing in? This is where development, that everything has a value.
Correct.
Okay, and my wanting has to match the value of the thing. Okay, when these two match, then it is okay to have it. So discussing money matters, by all means, because having money is good, but what is better, keeping it or utilizing it. Okay, I might be having so much money that after satisfying my every possible need, I have some spare stuff. Now what do I do with that? Okay, this is where we can coach the kids that it is always good to give others, to observe that if somebody else wants something, do I have the resource to help out the person? So my wealth, my possession, being used in the welfare of somebody else. Okay, this we should always discuss with. I'm not saying that encourage beggars, no. Mm, probably not that, but uh, if I see that a child who needs a book or pencil or something, that's why I encourage. I love it when a kid says that I want to celebrate my birthday in an orphanage. Okay, there is the tender connection being made that whatever I have, the pleasure or my belongings, I want to share with people who do not have it or do not easily get. So understand that whatever I have, part of it I should rather use for the welfare of somebody else who is less privileged. Okay, and the basic thing of money is, if I'm giving 10 rupees and I buy something, I should always be able to calculate in my mind that okay, then I spend this and I have it and everything is selling. To managing money. Okay, uh, not getting cheated, that is the first thing that
Correct.
should be developed. That if you have 10 rupees, you can spend it well, don't get cheated, because this is your thing, you have to take care of it. That proprietary feeling that it is mine and I'm going to take care of my money. So that is one thing, that if I have money, if you have money, you have to take care of it, and I cannot scatter it. I have to keep it, in an organized way. And second thing is, if I have something extra, uh, rather than keeping it for myself, I will like to use it for the welfare of underprivileged who have lesser than me. I would like to give to. This is should be, yeah, developed from right from childhood. Giving, the art of giving, the tendency to give, it should be developed.
Correct. And that would also help in building empathy, which is a very important
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are drawing close to the end of this particular interaction, I would like to ask one last thing, not just about 21st century, any specific 21st century skill, but as a whole. So it might so happen that maybe after listening to our conversation and other interactions as well, parents or kids, they might be of the opinion after doing a bit of soul searching that, hey, I don't really see myself having this particular skill. Like, I don't think that I have great communication skills, or I don't think I really work well with others. So there are small gaps which kids or parents might be finding. So, what is the best way to get involved in any activity so that the small baby steps can be taken to gradually internalize and acquire that particular skill?
Oh, yeah, this is a very good point. Like the way, once again, I see it, to get good at any skill, you have to repeatedly do it. It's just like mathematics. It is said that the more you practice maths, the better you get at it. Yeah, I think it applies if you want to become a good singer. There's something called riyaz. Okay, so why do you do it? Because once again, when you repeatedly do something, it becomes a part of your system, a part of your soul, and one day you find that you have become good at it. So if that was your question, that if there are lacunae to clarify that I'm not good at it, and how to overcome that, keep doing it all the time or whenever you can. And once again, as I said, that keep reading about people who are good in that one activity. Follow what they are doing. Like, suppose you want to, so a kid wants to become good in public speaking. Okay, but he finds that not he's not equipped, in speaking. But then, do I stop being a speaker? No. There are ways I have to watch speakers, orators. There's so many people. Incidentally, I myself love listening to US President Barack Obama. Like, I wish I had his way of articulation. My personal opinion, he's a wonderful speaker. So once
Absolutely.
again, if I keep watching people who are good at it, and I speak, like, pronunciation is one thing, but emphasizing on a particular word, you have to skirt around pronunciation also sometimes, just to uh, propagate the importance of what I'm trying to say. So when to do that, and I want to say the pause. Pause is a great thing in speaking. When you pause, abruptly pause, you immediately, call the attention of people. Like, why did the person stop? So it's arrest attention. Then body language, when to roll your eyes or want to intensely look at your audience. So this is about public speaking. So as I'm saying, that if somebody wants to get good at it, fill up one's lacunae of a skill. First thing, keep doing it. Oh, actually, first thing is, don't ever think, having confidence that I am going to get good at it because that's what I want.
Right.
Okay, I want to become good at it. Second thing is, keep doing it. Third thing is, watch people who are good at it. Okay, and last thing is, do it within a family, your home. Ask people that watch me and tell me that, do you see any flaw or a major flaw somewhere. So keep asking for inputs. Okay, others' opinion about your skill development. I think that will help.
Actually added a very beautiful dimension to it because some skills are pretty much could be there within them. It's not like there's an absolute dearth of that skill. It's not like people can't communicate. It's like they can't communicate well or better than they're communicating now. So that was you added a new dimension that it's about identifying the lacunas. So that's one good thing.
No worries. Like, I can identify what am I good at, and I will rather develop. No, I will say that there is no point in forcing a person that whether you can or not go become a leader. No, then the quality will be missing. So, but I would rather prefer that the strength of a person is discovered and allowed to bloom.
That was really insightful. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of this particular interview. I would like to extend my thanks once again to Mrs. Rina Sen for spending her time and
Okay.
peace of mind with.
Pleasure's mine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.